Hello, my name is Kelvin Davis. I am your multifamily newbie. I want to welcome you to my channel. We're on a journey to purchase our first multifamily property. I appreciate you joining me so much. What I wanted to talk about today is pure cash flow. Pure cash flow, and as I mentioned on other videos, I'm taking a lot of what I'm sharing with you from a book that I'm reading, The Multifamily Millionaire, created or written by some of the creators of the Bigger Pockets podcast YouTube channel. And one of the things that they share is a concept called pure cash flow. And a lot of people will think that income from a rental property is basically, well, the income is the rent that you receive. And the cash flow is the rent minus the mortgage payment is what you be able to put in your pocket. But your cash flow is more or less than that. There's more things that go into what your income actually is, and definitely what your expenses are. Your net operating income, which is a very important concept, and we're going to talk about that on another video. But that net operating income entails everything but your mortgage, but it's a very important number when it comes to calculating to make a determination on whether or not your property is a profitable investment. So what I wanted to do was basically over the course of a few videos break down what income is or could be, what expenses are that you need to look out for, what pure cash flow really is, what your cash flow really is, and then we'll get into some numbers as far as cash on cash return and things of that nature. Some very important numbers. And I've had rental properties before, but not knowing any better, not knowing that math was very important, I just figured if I charged a certain amount for rent and it was more than what I was paying for the mortgage, then I was winning. But I've come to find out that that's not true at all. Now, as concerning income, which is what we're talking about today, there are several streams of income that you can actually receive from one multifamily property. So, of course, rental fees is a source of income for your multifamily property, for your rental property. You want to absolutely be charging rent, receiving rent. That's going to be, the main thing. But also, late fees are a form of income. If your tenant is paying late, and of course, you don't want your tenant to be paying late, but if they are, you want to make sure that you're charging and receiving late fees, because that is it's the cost of doing money. If you were late on your mortgage, it would go against your credit. If you had money tied up and had to wait around for someone to pay you so that you could pay that money back or use it for something else, then the cost of you waiting, there's a cost to money, and the cost of you waiting is actually costing you, whether it's time, energy, or money, interest payments. So it's very important that you run your business as a business, and collecting late fees, unfortunately, is a part of running your business as a business. Another thing, if your rental property has an area where you can put laundry machines, if you can't do it inside the unit, there's no space there, but there's some space outside the units, a storage area, a secure area where the tenants could go in and do their laundry, and you can put coin-operated laundries in there. That's another potential source of income for you. Also, if there are storage areas where the tenants could store their items, and here in America, we're big for having more than we need. So storage is a big thing. Self-storage is a big thing. So if they're able to have a place there on site where they can store their things, or if there are other people in the area who want to have a storage facility nearby that they can store things in, potentially, that's something that you could use as a potential income source. And we're just kind of going over some things that I've listed. If you're purchasing an apartment complex where the landlord has traditionally paid the water, for whatever reason they aren't able to separate the meters out, they're able generally to separate the meters out on the power. Those will be separate meters. But sometimes the apartments will have one water meter and it'll, of course, funnel all the apartments, basically be piped to all of the apartments. The landlord will receive the bill, but you want to make sure to collect that money from your tenants, unless you're using that as a way of getting people to rent your apartments. Hey, I offer free water, or I know some apartment complexes offer free cable, to the tenants. So depending on how you run your business, if you're in a situation where it's only 1 meter, then you may want to consider making sure that the tenants are being charged for the portion that they're using so that you'll collect that money back. So a potential source of income there. Another thing, if you're in a place where you could charge for parking, even if it's not for your tenants, maybe your lot is big enough to some nearby store or event center, needs extra parking, and you can charge for parking on your lot. So there's some potential there. If your lot is big enough and people want to park there, you could charge. Maybe you're near a stadium and you can charge people to park on your lot so they can go into the game, have their car in a nice, secure place. So there are a lot of ways that you could generate income other than just rent on your property. Another thing, if you were to be near maybe a highway. This is, I'm just, kind of putting things out there, but there are plenty of ways that you can earn extra income. If you were near a highway or a highly trafficked area, you could maybe put a billboard sign on the side of your building to allow for advertising businesses or companies that want to have, their face up near a high traffic area or a freeway. So just being creative in your thinking, wanted to talk to you. There are more ways to generate income from your multifamily, and you want to generate as much income as you can because you want to put as much money in your pocket as you can so that you can get your money back out, whatever money you put down on the property, and we'll talk about cash on cash returns, but whatever money you put into the property, whatever money you want to put into the property for rehab and fix up things of that nature, you want to generate as much income as you can on your multifamily property so that you'll be able to provide a great living space for your tenants. You'll provide, more sleep at night for you because you won't have to worry about not making ends meet as far as the mortgage is concerned, and you want to do whatever you can to be successful. So we're going to go on with this. I appreciate you again. My name is Kelvin Davis, the multifamily newbie. We talked some about income possibilities. Next video, we're going to talk about expense and what's entailed there. We're going to talk about net operating income, which is basically the income you get in minus the operating expenses. We're not talking about the mortgage. The mortgage is not an operating expense, but we'll get more into that. And I appreciate you again for being on this journey with me. And as always, I'm looking forward to seeing you at the top.